Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Indie Diaries podcast, showing the human stories behind indie game development. This is your loyal Indie Diaries and host, Anthony L. Wolf, and this is a very, very lovely episode of the Indie Diaries. We have the Bablabo Games trio. They're a trio of lovely people from India who are working on their own games, and I met them thanks to a Threads post where they were sharing their prop making skills, or at least that they were learning prop making and modeling for their next game. So really looking forward to anything they do after this, and this is such a lovely episode. You're going to love it, I'm sure. So cozy and wholesome. But before we get into it, I want to shout out to my amazing patrons who are Zagini, Fishbone Dev, and Peleg. As always, you guys are incredible. Love having you as supporters of the show every single month. You are amazing. And listeners, this is a listener-supported show, so please go to patreon.com/theindiediarist and check out my amazing tiers, which start from as little as £1.25 and give you a range of benefits. But now let's get into Indie Diary number 73, Bablabo Games. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Indie Diaries podcast, showing the human stories behind indie game development. This is your loyal Indie Diaries and host, Anthony L. Wolf. People call me Ant, as my lovely guests today will do as well, I suppose. But I'm here with the trio from Bablabo Games. I think that's how you say it. I found these guys on Threads thanks to a post around prop modeling. We'll talk about that at some point, but it was a very sweet post and I liked it. And I was like, okay, let's just invite them. Let's see what they're working on. So yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to say too much about you guys, so I'll hand it over to you. Please say a few things about yourselves, what you do, where you're based, and what you're working on right now.
So hi, we are Bablabo Games.
Bablabo, okay.
Yeah. I am Anushka. You guys can.
I'm Ritik.
I'm Nimish.
And yeah, we actually have been working. We have a release game right now, which we have released on Steam. It's called Hush Hush Hi. We will tell you about our future game that we are working on so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Yes, and good point. We will definitely dive into the game as we go. But first, before we do anything else, just a little icebreaker segment. As you guys know, I run a prologue for these episodes, so I'm going to start a timer. There's going to be background music. It's going to feel a little bit like a quiz game, and I'm going to ask as many questions as I possibly can within 60 seconds to, I think, one of you at a time, just to make it a little bit more, a little bit more manageable. Otherwise, I probably need around 90 seconds or even double that. So I'm going to prepare the little countdown for you guys now, and then we will get started. Are you ready?
Ready.
Not really, but we have to start.
Not really, but yeah, but you kind of have to get that. Hello, sorry for the interruption. Due to the fact that I was streaming live music while asking the questions, and Bablabo didn't have headphones on because they were a trio in the same room, some of the answers weren't really audible. So unfortunately, I had to cut them from this segment. But I kept most of it. Let's put it that way. Let's get back into it. All right, so I'm going to start the music now and the countdown at the same time. So, what's the first game you ever fell in love with? And we can start from Namish.
It's Outlaws, the old 1997 one.
Okay. If you could play only one genre for the rest of your life, what would it be? And that's for you, Anushka.
2D action platformer.
What's your guilty pleasure game? Something you love but know isn't perfect. And we start again.
Life is Strange.
Okay, perfect. Pitch your game in one sentence.
It's a quirky stealth game where you stop the main character from spreading gossip.
Okay. Well, we actually did it. I think we answered all of the questions. But yeah, okay, well, now we can relax. This was a prologue segment. We just went a little bit faster. And now we can relax and we can take our time to answer all the rest of the questions thoughtfully. So, these episodes are like indie diaries. I call them indie diaries, but they're like, journals, memoirs or something. So I always like to start from the beginning. And I'm not sure how we're going to do it with you guys because there's 3 of you, but I'm probably going to ask questions and then whoever feels like answering first, they can, and we'll try to balance things as we go. So I want to start from the beginning, and this is probably a question that all of you can answer. So what's your earliest or fondest memory that has to do with video games? How did it all start?
Who would like to start?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was mainly when my father bought the first PC at home, and yeah, like that's when we started playing games. So we had a disc with 25 games in it, with games like Sky Road, Jack the Rabbit, and all those games. So yeah, it all started from there for me. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, actually, I have an elder brother, so I kind of grew up watching him play games and stuff like that, and I would just like get so mesmerized by the entire thing, and I was like, okay, yeah, I would like to make that now.
All right. Okay,
My
yeah.
fond memory would be I didn't have a good PC at my home, so I used to go to my brother's home to play, and then we used to play. He used to play on the keyboard, and I used to control the mouse, even though we were playing like a first-person shooter. But
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's nice. That's cute. And
yeah.
it's a pattern that I see all the time. There's always other people introducing you to games, and I think that's the most magical thing ever. Of course, you can't possibly find these things out on your own because they are, things that people usually buy for you. But in my case, it was my uncle, and that's something that always comes up. Like my uncle was and is still a very big gamer, but was even more of a gamer when I was a kid, and he introduced me to so many games: Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, all the things that he liked. And I saw maybe Crash Bandicoot or Spyro. I saw them for the first time in his house, or at his house. So then my dad got me a PS1, and then from there I started gaming for the rest of my life. So yeah, but it's always a magical moment remembering those things. And do you think those early games are influencing the kind of experiences you're making for players now?
For me, at least, yeah. So, if like the first game that I would be obsessed with was Excite Bike on Game Boy Advance. So, the
Mhm.
entire thing of like it being pixelated and stuff like that, I think I have a lot of like the inspiration taken from those kind of games and then kind of brought it in Hush Hush High also. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for all of us, it's like we've played the games which are like really hard, and then it kind of influences how we make games these days also.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that actually makes me think of something else. What is your role inside the studio, like exactly? Like, what does each of you do? I'm sure you wear different hats all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mainly all of us do like most of the stuff
It's
together
like
only.
a
So
equal split.
yeah, like we both are mainly the designers in the team, and he's the developer.
Develop.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
the
But
primary
art
thing,
and
but,
stuff, everything is like split.
split between us.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you keep everything on everyone on track, I suppose.
We are like working in the same house also.
Yeah,
Like we just
so
Ah, that's lovely. That's lovely, and we'll get to that actually because I've got a question about the studio specifically. But there's I always like to call this the watershed moment in someone's life when someone realizes that they've been doing a hobby they've been enjoying a hobby for a long time, but then they want to actually make something that relates to that hobby. So in your case, when did you realize you wanted to make games? Like, was there a light bulb moment? Did it all just happen?
I mean, for me, it was mainly in my high school time where I used to go to a lot of like participate in a lot of gaming events and competitions. So from there, like after that, when I had to pursue a career and think about it, then yeah, like I was curious about how these are made actually. So
Uh,
that when I thought of actually pursuing it, yeah.
okay.
so for me at least, I knew I was gonna do something related to design. My mom was kind of forcing me into fashion design, but I was
Okay.
like, that's not for me. And yeah, as like I said, my inspiration was my brother, and I would like see that and like play around, play other games with my friends and stuff like that. And that's when I came across like a college in Pune, which is in India.
Mm-hmm.
I came across that, and yeah, I just was into it. Like it was called Rubica France,
Mm-hmm.
also known as DSK. So that's just how my entire career started from there. Yeah.
That's great. And what about you, Yupit?
For me, it's like I was always interested in art and stuff like films, things like that. But I was also interested in programming. And
Uh,
then I thought of being a software engineer, but I thought it was really boring. So
yeah.
where I can actually have fun while also programming. So
Uh-huh. I get you. I mean, I did a software development course not long ago. I think about a year and something ago, and that was just to solidify the kind of self-taught things that I had learned about programming and whatnot. Because I'd always been self-taught until then. But I've it was always for the goal of making maybe a little game by myself or something like that. Because yeah, it is fun to solve problems and use logic and whatnot. But after a while, you're basically just staring at lines of code on a screen. But when you're working in an engine, it's different. You just see things coming to life. You just see game logic coming to life, and I think that's really fascinating. So different people for different things, I suppose. But yeah, I do relate with you there. And well, we've gone through the origins, how everything started. Now I think we can get closer to the present. And I think you've been working on Hush Hush High for how long?
It's been a year.
so we released Hashashai last year in October.
Uh-huh.
So we had been working on it for like 8 months, but we had been working on it like on and off.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Some updates and stuff.
Yeah, we released quite a lot of updates like quality of life improvements.
Yeah.
And we went to like events, got a lot of feedback.
Yeah,
Nice.
basically
Okay.
getting those feedback and like
Yeah.
updated the game as
Yeah.
we went earlier.
Slight fun fact: it was a game jam event.
Okay.
King Hush Hush High for.
Yeah.
And then we sort of like, okay, I think the story we keep like saying every
Yeah.
single time. But yeah, we forgot to submit on the actual
Like we-
Oh
jam
no.
We missed the submit
deadline
by like a minute or so.
so.
Oh no.
We had to because we couldn't find the submit.
Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah.
find how to submit. So.
So yeah, like we couldn't submit it over there, so we were just like, okay, might as well just like give Steam a try, like
Yeah.
just make the game a little bit more polished and put it out on Steam, and let's see how
Nice.
this goes.
And well, obviously you've been doing this. Well, also I relate. I mean, those game jams, especially on itch, if you were using itch, which is likely, they can be a little bit obscure with where to submit stuff. They all have their own little instructions and requirements. I've done two, and I'm still not sure I quite know what I did there. So, but yeah, you've been basically working on your game for a while and such. You've been working together as a team for a while as well. What would you say is a big development challenge you've overcome so far, and how has it changed the way you approach the game?
So I think the most challenging part while we were making Hush Hush was how challenging the entire game would be. Basically, like the difficulty curve and stuff like that. We had an idea of, okay, we want it to be a difficult game and like give the entire like retro feeling, keeping the difficulty curve high. But that was the main challenge where we were like, okay, how difficult is difficult?
And difficult is sort of a subjective thing
Relative
only.
to-
though,
Even among us three,
Us three.
it's like he's a really skilled player. She's also really skilled, but I'm very bad at it.
Okay.
Really hard for me to understand if the difficulty is
Yeah.
fine or for him to understand.
Yeah, no, but that's interesting though. I think it introduces a nice balance because usually, I mean, if for solo devs out there, it's hard to really gauge how difficult you're making a game to be until someone else tries it in front of you, and you can kind of tweak the difficulty based on that. And the fact that you have like different skill levels in the team that actually helps because I finished Clear Obscure at the hardest difficulty, but other people may finish it at normal, and that's already challenging for them. It was challenging. It wasn't easy for me either, but it was a challenge that I enjoyed. But how do you balance that? That is always obviously a bit of a concern. But yeah, like in your case, how did you balance the difficulty in the game? Were you able to find that sweet spot?
I mean, eventually we did some play tests. Actually, we called in our friends, multiple people to just play test and just recorded the sessions,
Uh,
feedback from them, and yeah, like accordingly we balanced.
Yeah, with every playtest
Yeah.
we changed things, tweaked things slightly, changed the mechanics slightly.
Yeah.
or added like a few features here and
Yeah.
there. So if you do actually play the game, and you'll be able to figure out okay, in the demo it was not there basically before the entire mochi mechanic.
Yeah, there's a specific mechanic we had to add because
And yeah, just because people are like rage quitting immediately.
oh. Okay.
So yeah, so the name of our character's name's Mochi, and we introduced like a Mochi feature where you can go and just eat and like reduce the difficulty of the level. So those are just like small features that we just added, or like level blockers and stuff like that. So
what made it really hard for us to balance the difficulty was that the game itself is kind of hard to categorize because
we have no reference.
yeah, we didn't have a reference of this is a game that's very similar to our game. So how difficult is that? We didn't have any kind of idea of that. So we were like almost going completely by
Blind.
feel. Yeah, like it feels right. Let's see what other people think, and then
Well, and yeah, and about other people, I mean, we'll get there in a couple of questions because I'm curious to know what others' reactions were to your game. But before then, I found you from a post around prop modeling. How's that going? Are you actually making progress there? How's that going?
So that was something just random, like we across like a workshop and stuff.
Yeah.
I personally love to like do a lot of these artworks and stuff, and I just like pull them in for like, how come we'll just do this.
these are
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, no, that's the cutest thing ever. I love it. Okay.
But yeah, if I want to give like a more technical answer to it, since we made Hashasha as like a proper like pixel art 2D game and stuff like that, the entire like 3D modeling sort of a thing will help us a lot in the future, because our next game that we are making is a 3D game, and we have some sort of knowledge on how to make it, but then at the same time we're like, okay, might as well just try this out.
Yeah, it's a whole other can of worms, isn't it? Like having to deal with 3D maps and maybe rigging, character rigging, and animation and such. Yeah, I have tried a little bit of 3D, but I feel more comfortable with 2D so far with the little games that I made. But I suppose maybe one day I'll try a proper 3D game. Who knows? Yeah, it must be interesting in its own right. I just need to find a 3D artist. That's the thing. Because I'm definitely not. I'm more on the writing, game design, and programming side of it, but definitely not art, or maybe a little music, but not even that. So yeah, but you guys are. You said that you basically do everything together. So how's it like to co-run a studio of 3? Like any unique challenges that you face?
I mean, as a team, I don't think we have faced a proper
yeah.
challenge that we like a thing that we can call a challenge, basically. Yeah.
So the thing is that before we actually created Bablabo Games, we were working in a company together. So yeah,
That's how we got to know about each other.
and I think we found that synergy with each other, and I think that's how I think we have never had an issue so far. Like listen and just be like, yeah, okay, this is shit, or let's just go with something else and stuff like that. So I don't think we have had a challenge with each other.
It has always been like healthy talks, like healthy
yeah.
discussion, like what designs or stuff and related to games and stuff. Yeah.
Plus, we've all been in the industry, like in India, the gaming industry for some time. So we also know
how everything.
Like we know that not every idea of yours can go into a game. So we're not very precious about these things.
That helps a lot. Like, you guys were colleagues before, so you're already used to working together, and you were also in the gaming industry, so you already know like all the production cycle of making a game. So that's actually interesting. Yeah, that definitely helps you guys a lot, I think. And yeah, well, I can see that in the level of polish that you put in Bablabo Games. I haven't tried the demo for Hush Hush High yet, or the game, but I will, because it definitely sounds super interesting. And yeah, about Hush Hush High now, we can actually talk about the game a little bit. So what would you, like, how would you describe it in a very detailed way as a game?
So it's a very short game where it's like 5 levels basically. You play as the main character Mochi, who is a girl who just loves to basically gossip, and you as a player have to control her from spreading gossip. Essentially in a high school, and I think this is something which a lot of people like relate, like, who doesn't like gossiping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
so it's kind of like a stealth game, but in a more like a quirky and retro.
It like doesn't
Mhm.
have any stealth mechanics at all, but you still need to play it like a stealth game where you stay away
Right.
from every NPC that you can see.
That's nice. Okay.
So
Well, that's cool.
So we actually, our main thing in the game is the bosses also.
Yeah.
Something which we wanted to again keep like a retro feeling. And if you do see Hush Hush, it gives you a lot of inspiration from like Pokemon. So we have like the Pokemon style battle also in the boss fights and stuff like that. So we try to keep it as authentic. And
It's like a mixture of a lot of retro games that we all love. Like,
yeah.
That's the best thing, though, isn't it? Like putting all the things that you love, all of the inspiration inside a game. That's amazing. Well, you kind of hinted at this here and there, but like, I'm curious, how did Bablabo Games come to be, and where did the inspiration for Hush Hush High come from?
it actually is the game jam was actually how Bablabo formed.
So Hashtag came from the game jam itself, and
Yeah.
decided to move on and like move with the project when, after we missed the deadline. So once we planned to like finish off the project, work on it continuously, that's when we thought of like releasing on Steam, and for that we wanted a name for
Yeah.
the team. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
how it came actually.
Yeah.
So first, Hashtag
Yeah, I
was
guess I guess my point was around like, how did you decide that you wanted to make a game together? That's the main thing. Yeah.
That was actually very random because there's actually one of our colleagues randomly said that there's this game jam they want to participate. I don't know if you know Pirate Software.
Yes, yeah, of
yeah.
course I do. Robbie, yeah, we did an episode together.
Oh damn!
Okay.
Yeah, it was on scams in PR and how to recognize them. Yeah, no, I know Robbie. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so he hosts a game jam like regularly. So we participated in that, and the theme for the game jam was it's spreading. And we were thinking of like what spreads. So
And most people would think like, okay, a
Virus,
disease, a virus, or
zombie.
zombies and stuff
Yeah,
like
of course. But gossip, yeah.
that. So we're like, gossip was
Yeah.
spread. So
yeah. So what if we had to stop it from spreading? And then we sat down. It's like a 2-week long game jam, but we sat down on the last day to make the game, and then so we just ended up like making a game somehow, but then failed to submit it. So we were like, we like this idea a lot, but we don't want to let it go to waste. So
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
yeah, so we thought,
Okay.
might as well give Steam a shot. So yeah, that's how that's how it
Love
started.
it, love it. So it's a nice story, definitely. Yeah, love that. Okay, well then, and in that case, you moved from like a game jam to Steam and such. What has been one of the most memorable reactions that someone has had to your game? Since you mentioned playtests.
there have been multiple moments. I mean, the one that I remember is from an event in Hyderabad. We went for an event called IGDC, and over there was a kid that actually really loved the game, but he didn't have the money to actually.
Like he
saved up,
basically
actually.
he came the next day and offered us like cash.
cash. So you said that I've saved this much cash. Can you give me a copy?
Oh,
Well, like, just take it.
Yeah, just take, this is like
Take
the biggest
everything.
validation we can ask.
It's a gift from us, please.
Yeah.
that's adorable. That's adorable. Love that. Yeah, no, I bet that's something that sticks with you for a long time. Like someone actually saving to get your game. Yeah, that's so sweet. And what would you say is one maybe mechanic that you're particularly proud of from Hush Hush High?
I think all of us might have different things.
Yeah, no, that's fine. One each.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess would be the pullback mechanic. Basically, the button mashing QT where you are just pulling your character from spreading the gossip. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Mine has to be the mochi mechanic. Basically, like, you get to see a small little mochi on top of your head, and you're like
Yeah.
eating it, and that basically the mechanic just reduces the time.
So, it actually stops her from.
It
spreading.
stops her from spreading gossip
Distracts her for some time.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which,
Uh-huh.
which is also a very random thought.
Yeah.
What
which
if
we-
Mochi likes Mochi?
Okay.
And I think for me, it would be the gossip spread itself,
Yeah.
because that also went through so many iterations and like development. Since I'm a programmer,
Yeah.
and then development wise, it's really interesting to me.
I mean, actually, logic-wise as well, because we did a lot of brainstorming on
there's so
figuring out
much.
how the gossip.
I'm trying to think of how a gossiping spreading mechanic might work. So possibly like from node to node, it just spreads exponentially as the more people know about it. So something like that. But yeah.
The NPCs walk around, and if they see someone that doesn't know the gossip, they'll go and tell them.
Aha, yeah, okay.
He gets
Yeah.
pulled towards, or like just gets eager to go and like speak to the person, and that's
Mhm.
where the pullback mechanic comes in.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
And you have like button mash to
it's like a dog walking simulator.
simulator. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
You basically just do by mistake spread the gossip. It's you. This one person will just go and keep
Tell
and like,
everyone.
tell everyone, and then you can see it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining. Yeah, of course, spreading gossip. We all know how that works, unfortunately. But yeah, well, I mean, we're approaching the end of this episode. It's been lovely having you guys on, but I still have a couple of questions for you, and these are kind of the most reflective questions. So we are into the later part of your indie diary, and I want to start with this question that I love asking to anyone who comes on the show, everyone and anyone. Why are you guys game developers in the first place? What is it that drives you forward? We can start from, don't know, whoever wants to go first.
I mean, one common answer would be love games, but
That is there.
yeah, for sure. But yeah.
For me, actually, it is just what you had actually mentioned before, where I would see all these like amazing games and like these visuals and every like mechanic or something like that, where you see this and you're like, okay, how have they made this, or like how is what was the thought process behind it? Like you see some really good level design, and you're like, damn, that's insane. So in that case, like for me it is the product, like my vision coming out in like visually and like getting that product out and then being proud of that is something which I really like crave for. Like I really like that feeling. So yeah, for me it's that.
And for me, like one fascinating thing about games that I've always liked is it is a medium that incorporates all different forms of media. So it has your movies, animations, movies, audio, and it's all interactive. So player can actually be part of that experience.
It's basically
Yes.
not like a movie where you just sit and you actually
Yeah.
get to interact.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more better.
Yeah, I think like even for me, it's like I always like expressing myself in different ways, like different creative ways, and games are like a really good way to express yourself, where you can literally make another person go through what you're actually what's going on in your mind. And yeah, and also I love the fact that games are very similar to theme parks.
Yeah.
It's so so it's almost like you're making a theme park, but for like a fraction of the cost.
It's interesting. They're all beautiful answers, and it's interesting because you guys gave me the three answers that I hear the most often from people. Someone who just likes creating something to be proud of, someone who creates things for others so they can experience it, and someone who thinks games are this big way to collect all media and all art, and that's why they're so great and they couldn't be doing anything else. I hear these all the time, and it's interesting to see how game development. I'm like more than 70 episodes in, and pretty much every developer has given me one of these three answers, which is always interesting to me, seeing that we're all sharing this passion the same way.
Same brain cell.
Brain cell.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and well, of course, I mean, making a game isn't easy, and we all know that. What would you say has been the toughest part of your journey so far? And how did you push through it?
I mean, with Hashashai, it was, I guess, the time limitation only because we were working full time jobs as well while working on Hashashai. So I guess that was the only challenge that we faced because we didn't have the deadline was set by us only, so that wasn't the issue. But it was mainly when to work on it, basically.
We are trying to juggle between like our real life jobs and something which we are passionate about, and we wanted to be a lot more like working on this for the longest run, but yeah, I think that was the main struggle that we were facing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's great that you found the right balance, and hopefully from for your next game and so on, at some point you'll be able to just focus on it much more deeply. And of course, as I mentioned a few times during the course of this episode, this is an indie diary. You can see it as some sort of memoir, or that's how I like to see it. So, if this were your final diary entry, your final journal entry, what's one message you would leave for other developers or for players? I'll leave the choice to you.
So I would like to say, dear diary, just be as like don't let the passion die, and do exactly what you really have wanted to do. So yeah, I think just follow your passion is in short.
Right.
We need more good games. Get into it. Let's go.
Okay.
I think what I would write is if anyone tells you indie games don't make money, just point them to gamerlytic.com and search it.
Good point. Good point. Okay, well, guys, lovely. It's been lovely having you on the show. We're at time. Thank you for agreeing in the first place. This has been a lovely and cozy episode. Just the kind of stuff I like.
Thanks a lot. Yes, also.
Yeah, for having us. Thanks a lot for having us.
Oh yeah. Any time. I always say that everyone is welcome on the show, and you guys seem really passionate, and just, you know, it's strange that post told me so much about you, but I think I saw the right thing there. I could see like a team that really has a lot of passion for making games, and that is always really cool, cozy, and heartwarming. So yeah, as I think it's time for some parting words. So as a last question to you guys is, where can other people find you, and if they do, what is the best way to support you?
So you can find us on Instagram on the tag for Hush Hush Hi, and
Twitter.
Discord. You can join the Discord channel.
There is a Discord channel.
There's a Discord channel, yeah.
And you can also play our game on Steam, and on our Discord we'll be like giving a lot more updates about our next game, so you guys can also probably look at that.
Cool. Okay, amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for coming onto the Indie Diaries. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Wishing you the best of luck with your next game, which I will follow very closely. And yes, have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, friends, that's a wrap on episode number 73 of the Indie Diaries podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Bablabo Games for coming onto the show. You guys are an amazing, lovely, sweet, and wholesome trio. This is definitely one of the warmest episodes of summer 2025, pun definitely intended. I do truly wish you all the best with all the games that you're going to make from now on, and of course I'm going to follow them very closely, so let's stay in touch. So for you listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show. You can leave a rating, 5 stars, but most importantly, support the Bablabo Games team. You can find all of the relevant links in the description of the episode. They sent me a bunch of links that you can follow, and that's the best way to support them if you want to show them some love. If you want to show some love to the show, though, and allow me to keep going and inviting some amazing guests, you can go to the description as well. There's going to be links there to support me, including Patreon, Coffee, but on a more simpler way, you can just leave a follow on social media. Just go on Threads, Blue Sky, which is where I'm most active lately and currently, and you will be able to find at the Indie Diaries pretty much everywhere. There's also a YouTube channel and such. If you go to theindiediaries.com, you'll be able to find all of these links. And lastly, if you are an indie game developer yourself, please get in touch, because I would love to tell your story to the world. And I have one simple rule for the Indie Diaries podcast that I like to say to everybody: never say no to anyone, because your passion deserves to be shared far and wide. I'll speak to you next time.